Hello and welcome to a Feature Radiators video. Today we're going to look at saving money on your heating system. So we've got many good videos and blogs that are available on our advice centre, which is at www.featureradiators.co.uk, so certainly worth checking out. Today we're looking at your heating system and inside your home. First things first, the thing that controls it all, the boiler. So at this time of year when it does drop particularly cold, often people will go up to their boiler and they'll take it from its efficiency setting up to its maximum running temperature. Now what that does is it does actually reduce the efficiency of the boiler, so it does cost you more money to do that. So our tip and information today is to run your boiler for longer periods of time, run your heating for longer periods of time, but put it back into that efficiency mode. Our workings indicate that you'll save around about 10% overall on your heating costs by putting it back in eco mode but running your heating system for longer periods in the day. Another thing to consider would be putting your house into heating zones. So modern builds, a brand new build today, will have to have different heating zones, generally upstairs and downstairs as it were. So in older properties that might mean a little bit more upheaval, but certainly worth checking with your plumber because it is a good way to save money. Essentially you don't need your bedroom radiators to come on quite the same time as you do your lounge and your kitchen, which you might be using early evening. So as I say, a plumber can do that through the pipe work, etc., putting valves in and what have you, or a little bit less invasive is to use smart radiator valves. Now these replace your thermostatic heads on your current radiator valves, and what it means is you can take a room or a set of rooms like the bedrooms and you can put the smart heads on, and then those could ultimately be controlled through an app, or there might be on top digital control, and what you can have then is those radiators coming on at a set time and the radiators downstairs at a different time, so essentially you're not wasting any heat at all. The heating is coming on at very specific times. Another thing to consider, going back to radiator valves and thermostatic radiator valves, is becoming a bit more familiar with your radiator valve. Thermostatic radiator valves will have a snowflake on, which is frost protection. You should always have them on that in the winter. And then it'll have 1 to 5, and each one of those numbers refers to a different heat setting. Now what you might find is that all your radiators are set on number 5, whereas there might be rooms in your house which you don't necessarily need to have the full heat all the time. So changing those down to maybe a 1, a 2 or a 3 can ultimately save you money because you're not burning as much energy by having less heat put into those rooms. Another consideration would also be turning off a radiator in a room that you maybe don't use, maybe a dining room or a guest bedroom. If you turn a 2 kilowatt, 2000 watt heater off and you run your heating for 6 hours a day, saving 20 pence an hour not running that heating for 6 hours a day, you're going to save around about £30 a month. So quite an easy way there, just considering rooms that you may not use as much or at all in winter that you could turn off, or certainly put on that frost protection setting to make sure the water in there doesn't freeze. Another consideration, a simple one again, is doors in your property, internal doors. If you're leaving your bedroom doors open and your heating system's on, essentially the bedroom radiator, which has been specified for that room to heat that room, is now trying to heat the hallway as well. So it'll just keep on chugging away and producing the heat, when actually if it was just heating the bedroom it might have actually shut the valve off earlier in the heat cycle and ultimately saved you a little bit of money. A bit more of a major consideration would be insulating. Internally you can insulate by bringing the sort of depths of your room in by internal walls and using internal insulation, or external installation. Now both of those are quite invasive and ultimately they are a bit more costly, but in the long run and paying dividends in the long term, they will save you money on your heating bill. So I hope the video's provided a couple of helpful tips there that are easy to sort of implement in your own home. As I say, we've got a lot more information on the advice centre, which is at www.featureradiators.co.uk. You can call us, we're on 01274 567789. You can use the online chat, which is in the bottom right hand corner of our website, again www.featureradiators.co.uk, or you can drop us an email, contact@featureradiators.co.uk. If you're local, please do call in. We're more than happy to have a chat with you, try and help you out in any way we can. Thanks.